He had this club or stick or whatever it was, and he was beating it on his hand. And he would hit it. Every time he would say something, he'd hit his hand. And he said, I want you to know you were never there. I didn't understand what he meant. So I said, yes, I was. And he said, no, you weren't. I said, yes, I was. And he said, can't you get this through your head? You never saw anything. You were not there. You don't know anything. And he said, this is a big desert out here. We can just take you out in the middle of this desert and no one will ever find your bodies. He said, you'll be nothing but bones and nobody will ever know what happened to you. And I told him I would not talk about it.
Possibly friendly, and they need us to go and secure the crash site. And we found the area really easy because there was a huge gash in the land where something had crashed. Everything was burned, and it was like if you had almost cut like a warm butter with a knife. I mean, it was just it's like something on fire or had energy or some kind of energy, like a laser almost had like gutted. I mean, it was really strange. And basically, we were the first ones to see the object. And basically, what happened is we didn't go straight up the hill because basically this thing went up the hill and then off into the side of the ravine of the ridge. This is about a 200-foot ridge at least. It was buried in the side of the cliff. But anyway, we didn't go straight up. We went on to the left and walked up to the top of the ridge. That's when we saw the craft. Basically, this is a huge ship, and 10 meters in width and about 20 meters in length. I'm just not sure that's just an estimate, but it was huge. I mean, it was big, man. And it was shaped almost like between an egg and a teardrop almost. And when I first saw it, I was scared. It scared me the heck out of me. I didn't know what to do. It was dripping in a syrup-like syrup viscosity. This liquid, it was everywhere, all down, everywhere when we went down there because there was plants and everything. It was weird. It was a purplish green color, and it kind of like fluctuated. Like you couldn't really, when you look at it one time, and you look at it again, and it was almost like I don't know if it was like alive and it was just changing, but every time you looked at it, you saw a different shade of greenish purple. It was strange. There was one light on it. Slowly went around, and the machine, I could hear it. I guess because it was still functioning, and it had like a hum to it, like a really bass, like say if you unplugged an amp from your car. And it was really deep. It kind of fluctuated, and then finally it was cut off, and everything just seemed to stop. When I was looking at the craft, it was buried, so I could see the back of it. There were these large vents. They looked like vents, sort of like a fish gill on the back. I couldn't see around the other side. I guess I'm assuming it was the same around the other side. That looked like, I don't know, that could be used for propulsion. I'm not sure. I was arrested. I had all my gear taken from me by men in black camo. Had no name tags. They were older men, probably in their late 30s or 40s. There were other people, I guess they were government, I don't know. They were there and they had they took me, they put me on a cot. They had me cuffed with these, they had me cuffed both hands down, and then they had my
and you'd never get a promotion, and I'd spend the next 3.5 years up at the North Pole, living in a tent checking weather balloons.
I've made no money from this. I've got nothing but pain and suffering out of it, out of talking about it. I've been harassed at my home. This was used against me partially in losing a job once in teaching. I've had a hell of a time after I've told this story, but I continue to tell the story because I think it's important for people to understand that this sort of shit goes on in the government.
I am prepared to state that I have been at locations where craft of unknown origin that did not originate on the face of this planet was there. I am prepared to state that while I was there, we saw living, dead bodies of entities that were not born on this planet. I am prepared to state that we had what they referred to as interfacing with those entities. I am prepared to state that the situation is they have a school to try to indoctrinate people. I never went to that school. I always refused. We have contact with aliens not originating from some foreign country, but from some other solar system. And I have been a party to that.
Three-star general said that these vehicles were capable of doing light speed or better.
It's a truth that the entire world has to be informed about, and that truth is man is not alone.